The punting competition right now, it seems about as even as you can get. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
I think that's accurate. Both of those guys have been doing an okay job. I think both of them probably could pick up their performances. Right now, it's neck and neck. If we had to punt tomorrow, I'd have to sleep on it and make a decision for the game if we played tomorrow. So thankfully, we have what we have. We have 20 more practices to go. So one of those guys is going to have to step up and give us what we're looking for.
It's Fish and Scrivener Howard, right?
Yes, they're the two main guys.
What do those two bring to the table, each of them, individually?
Well, I think what Fish brings to the table is some consistency. He's punted for a long time. I think what Scrivener Howard brings to the table is he has a pretty strong leg. And I think he could be a guy that if he can get his fundamentals down, I think he's a guy that, has some talent and some ability.
Anyway, you see some rugby punts maybe this year? Rugby style punts?
In this scheme, there's a probability that'll come up.
What about the kickoff specialist right now? How's that going? Jay Wooten.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. He's got a good leg. A couple of those other guys are going to give him some work too. But right now, Jay is the guy that's going to be kicking off for us.
Seems to be the heavy favorite to play.
Well, he's just a guy that's he's done it here before. He's the one that's kicked before in the stadium. He's a pretty consistent. I have a good feeling about Jay. I know kind of what he is, what his limitations are, what his strengths are, and so
place kicker as well.
Place kicker. He's obviously in the lead, but there's a pretty good competition there going between him and Adam Yates. Has had a couple good days, so like anything else, we're going to keep pushing it until we get a little closer towards game day. We still have 20 days, 20 practices. So.
Coach Bird has talked about the punting job being a lot of guys competing. Where's the punting job stand right now?
I was just telling him I think it's a pretty dead heat between Fish and Scrivener Howard. Fish has had some days. The last couple of days he's been pretty consistent. We're not asking them to do much, so it's just really a guy that it's going to come down to who we trust the most and who I think can execute the scheme that we're asking them to do. So.
Who's been the most consistent at this point?
I would say right now, I was just telling him if I had to make a decision for a game tomorrow, I'd have to sleep on it and kind of make a decision based on maybe a little bit of gut, because I think they're pretty dead equal right now.
Well, Saturday scrimmage pretty important in deciding.
Yes, and Saturday scrimmage is important for everybody, but also the specialists, is because as much as we can kind of assimilate game situations, is going to be when we're in the stadium. That's going to be to me a big factor. At least there won't be a whole lot of fans there if there's any, but at least we're in the stadium. We can kind of mimic what we're going to do. So that'll be a big day. Saturday will be a big day for everybody in the special teams, because once we get through Saturday, we'll have a better picture who's going to be traveling in all the positions.
Are you planning to devote a significant amount of time on Saturday to special teams play?
It's going to be as they come up in the game situations. So if our offense and defense gets a stop, we'll either punt or we'll punt return. We'll fit it in as the scrimmage goes. If we score, we'll either kick off or kick off return. We always try to get about 3-4 reps per phase if we can.
What do you like about DJ Swearinger at kickoff return?
What I like about DJ as a football player is that he's tough, he's physical, he's fast, he's fearless, and all of those qualities you need to have as a kickoff returner too. Most of our schemes, all of our schemes are going to be schemes where you have to attack vertically. We're not going to do a whole lot of running to the perimeter, and so he has that skill set. He's a strong runner. I think he can play in contact, so I think that'll help.
Is that the basic difference in kickoff returns under you compared to what they've had in the past? You're going to attack straight ahead instead of trying to hit the outside?
Well, we'll get some stuff on the perimeter, but even when we attack the perimeter, it's vertical cuts. It's everything we're doing is about angles. Boom, boom. We're not going to be doing much run into the sideline, or there's a lot of speed in this league. We have a lot of speed, but the speed can a lot of times chase down speed. We're going to try to split holes in their coverage, and a guy like him can do it. But there's some other guys too. We got a lot of guys, good potential guys here. I've been excited about our return game, both kickoff and punt return. I think we're going to have some opportunities.
How's the speed in the Big Ten compared to the way seen in the SEC here?
I've answered that question a couple times, and obviously I think it's not a secret that the SEC is where all the fastest players are. So we've got a bunch of them, and so does everybody else.
Who's going to be your punt returner? Do you know yet?
The guys back there, Stefan has been back there catching a bunch of them. Demir Bird has been back there catching a bunch of them. Ace has been back there catching a bunch of them. We're going to take a look at Auguste when he comes back, because he's done that before. But we have a good group of guys, and there's some younger guys that just have to get more, you need more experience catching punts than you really do kickoffs. Kickoffs, you have time. With a punt, you got somebody in your face right away. So you know, guys that have experience are going to be the guys that we put out there early because obviously, you know, games are very important.
So that makes Stefan a leader in the clubhouse, probably.
I would say that'd be a safe guess.
You've also been working with the Spurs. Kadrick Marcus was over there today. How is he developing?
Good. He's a great athlete. He's a guy that, you know, the position of the Spur is a hybrid DB, you know, cover guy, athlete that, you know, he possesses all those characteristics. And we're just trying to, as a defensive staff, we're trying to get the best 11 guys on the field and then find the best capable backups in each position. So we're going to take a look at him there and, you know, see how that works out.
You've also been missing Jared Shaw for a couple of days. Is he hurt?
Yeah, he got nicked up a little bit in practice last week.
Do you know why the change for Kadrick from corner to spur, and why Mason Harris from spur to linebacker or anything?
It was just, as a staff, we just talked about how we think we can get the best combination of the first 11 and then the next available guys. And just as far as the depth situations we're concerned and where we have numbers, that's kind of where we headed in that direction.
How has Holland done so far? First fall.
Good.
Spur.
I think he's doing good. He's a conscientious kid who's physical. He has all the characteristics that we look for at that position. I think it's a position that he naturally kind of can play without a whole lot of coaching, just because he's got that body type. He plays with good balance. He's a good tackler, good blitzer. You know, I think he's going to be a guy that will be on the field a lot for us in different situations this year.
What does Wooten do well?
The best thing about Jay Wooten is his consistency. You know, I've told all the specialists, you know, I'd love to have a guy that can kick the ball 75 yards out of the back of the end zone, or a guy that punt the ball 50 yards. But whatever you are, be who you are all the time. And Jay Wooten is probably our most consistent guy, meaning that if he misses by a little bit. He's never really going to have a bad kick. He's got a good leg, and he pretty much stays within the ballpark.
What's his range? What's your range for him that you're comfortable with?
I don't know if I can answer that right now. I have to kind of break it down. We've tried anything up to a 46, 47 yarder so far in camp, and he's had the leg for that. So, you know, I felt comfortable in any of the general ranges inside of 50-yard line, inside a 50-yard field goal. We should, you know, based on situation, have the ability to go for it.
How has Edward Muldrow adjusted?
Two more.
How has Edward Muldrow adjusted so far, being a freshman?
Good. As a freshman, you know, like most programs, you know, he's kind of swimming right now. Physically, the thing he does well is he plays very hard. And as a defensive player, as a young player, the number one thing you got to be is a guy that runs around to the football and plays really hard. And you're going to be confused a lot, but he plays hard, and that's good. I think he's going to be a good player here somewhere down the line.
Have you and your family gotten settled in the club yet?
Yeah, we are. We're set and ready to go. I appreciate it.